44, an American B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft crashed on this exact site, killing all 10 crew members on board. We have come back today, which is 1st of June 2012, and we're spending all night doing a paranormal investigation with several groups of paranormal investigators based here in Northern Ireland. We hope to get some activity, a bit of history on the aircraft. The aircraft was a brand new aircraft which left the United States, stopped for refuelling in Gander, Newfoundland, proceeded to Reykjavik in Iceland again for refuelling, and was to fly to a Royal Air Force base in Valley, North Wales, which is on the UK mainland. Weather was bad there, and it was diverted to Nuts Corner Airport in Belfast, and unfortunately never made there. On its third circuit of the airfield, wide circuits of the airfield, it crashed into Cavehill. Cavehill, where we are today, is 1,000 feet high above sea level, and the aircraft crashed just over halfway up the extremity of Cavehill at 600 feet. Weather conditions that day were rain, drizzle and low cloud. I have picked up many fragments of the aircraft over the last 25-30 years. Most of you will have heard of the film Closing the Ring, which I unearthed a wedding ring here in 1993 and spent 2.5 years returning it to the widow of the airman that was on board the aircraft who died here, Lawrence Dundon from Kentucky. But we have all the names with us tonight. We're just setting up now. It's around 10:30, 10:45 at night. There is a full moon tonight. Weather conditions are excellent. Temperature is fairly mild for Northern Ireland, and we're hoping to get some activity, and we'll keep you updated as things proceed through the evening.
And BPI and David and Thomas, we'd like to thank you for inviting us here tonight for this investigation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hugh. As I say, it's a pleasure to come along with you. There's an air of mystery and a lot of coincidences which we'll go into later on, but there's just something about this place. There's an atmosphere. I'm a very sceptical person, but there's an atmosphere at this place, which is why I contacted you people a long time ago, and it's only with weather conditions here in Northern Ireland, or in Ireland generally, we don't get nights like this even in the middle of summer, so we're making the most of a lot of things, and coincidentally, as I say, we're doing it on the 68th anniversary of the day. Where we're actually standing now is the exact site of where the tail section of the aircraft lay. The main fuselage crumpled some 30 or 40 feet to my right up the extremity of the hill, which is a fairly steep hillside, and even this evening we have picked up some fragments of the aircraft so far.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get something happen tonight. And what we'll do, we're going to do what we call an era cue, or some people might know it as a Singapore effect. We want to try and play a CD to try and recreate the sounds of a B-17 bomber engines with some music that maybe they were listening to at the time, that era. And we also have one, I know it's not relevant to this here, but the sound of the aircraft in combat that they might have recognised maybe at the time. I know the crew wasn't combat, they weren't in combat, but anything that might recreate the era of that time. So we'll play that later on and do some EVP sessions.
I would agree, Hugh, with that, because at that particular time the American 8th Air Force were losing hundreds of men per day. They were bombing Germany in daylight hours, and all these replacement crews that were coming over to Europe, they knew that there would be a very slim chance that they would do their 25 missions and return home to the US. So that would have been in the back of their mind. Although they were in friendly skies over Ireland, unfortunately the greater enemy, nature, claimed them.
Yeah, a lot of Americans were lost here. They done much of the daylight bombing.
Yeah, they did, and the RAF did it at night. Yeah. And bear in mind as well, this was only this aircraft crashed only 5 days before D-Day, the Normandy landings, and a transcript of their last radio message, they reported themselves lost over a lake which had a lot of small boats on it. That lake turned out to be Belfast Lough, which is 2 miles from here, and the small boats were actually supply vessels that were gathering in Belfast, Glasgow in Scotland and Liverpool, And those supply vessels, after the main troops landed in Normandy, would have gone in with supplies for the ground troops probably within the week following the Normandy landing. So that was the transcript of their very last radio message, and within 2 minutes of that they had all impacted with cavehill here.
So due to fog and rain,
Just due to bad weather.
Lock now rather than Belfast
Yeah.
Lock, they got confused.
Yeah, and there were 15 other aircraft in the vicinity waiting to land at the same time, and obviously radar and radio in those days just wasn't as good as it would be today.
Yeah.
And there could have been human error. It's only my thoughts. There could have been human error by the American military personnel doing air traffic control at Nuts Corner. Had they been another 400 feet higher, they would have gone over top of Cavehill. Had they been a quarter of a mile further to the right, they would have passed in the pass or the ravine, which the motorway freeway now runs up out of Belfast. But it was just so unfortunate. They'd come 3,500 miles and 400 feet was their fate.
Okay, I'm just going to pan around here. Show everybody.
It had a crew of 10. It had a gross weight when loaded of 32 tons, 4 engines, and it was one of the most successful bombers of World War II. And quite a big aircraft.
Known as the Flying Fortress.
Nicknamed the Flying Fortress because of its many gun turrets here, underneath. It literally was a fortress in the air.